Today we're in conversation with the Senior Executive Director of Marketing and Sales, Mr. Shashank Srivastava from Maruti Suzuki. Sir, welcome to the Motor Ahead Show.
Thank you so much.
We're following up on the Celerio launch. I think it's been about 20 days since the car's hit the market.
Yes.
So what has been the response to the product, sir?
So far, I think the response has been pretty good. We have close to about 15,000 bookings. And if you recall, we used to sell about 5,500–6,000 Celerios a month in the previous years. So in that sense, it's been remarkable, the number of bookings. Also, we are yet to launch the CNG. We shall be launching the CNG version very shortly. And that also should give us a further boost. In fact, the previous Celerio, the CNG percentage had touched almost 30%.
Oh, wow.
So in that sense, I think the response has been really good.
And overall for Maruti, how has CNG been doing, like across models?
Yes, so ever since we have observed that ever since two phenomena happened, CNG has skyrocketed, I would say. One is the increased price of diesel and petrol. In some states, they've crossed 100 rupees. And CNG, therefore, in terms of cost of running, is almost a third of what diesel and petrol is. So it's roughly about ₹1.60 per kilometer. It's against ₹5.10 for a diesel or a petrol vehicle. So there is a substantial cost saving. And secondly, the second phenomenon I was referring to was the increased number of CNG dispensing pumps. So just a couple of years back, it was about 1,500 pumps, covering about 140 cities. Today, as we speak, we have about 3,400 such CNG outlets, covering about 250 cities. And in a couple of years from now, the projection is that we'll have about 10,000 CNG outlets covering 330 cities. So the spread and the availability of CNG has increased. And therefore has given that confidence to the consumers about the availability of the CNG itself, and that has reflected, these two factors have reflected in a huge surge in terms of the interest of consumers in CNG products. For Maruti Suzuki, since you asked the question of how Maruti Suzuki numbers have been, well, if you go back 5 years back, then we had in 17-18 or that period 16-17, we used to sell about 75,000 annual CNG units.
Okay.
That increased to about 105,000 in 18-19, 19-20. Last year, 2021, I'm talking of the fiscal year, we sold about 1.63 lakhs, which was a jump of more than 50%. And this year, if we have enough supplies, we should be touching about 2.5 lakhs. So the trajectory seems to be great. Today in Maruti Suzuki, we have 8 models which are CNG. The total overall penetration of CNG is about 16% in our portfolio, and it's about 31% in those models where we have the CNG. So that's remarkable, I would say. Considering that diesel doesn't exist for us in our portfolio. So we are very hopeful that this trend will continue in the future as well.
And going back to the Celerio, sir, it's a car that's come out after 2 years from Maruti, and as journalists, we're very accustomed to Maruti doing launches fairly regularly. But you're back doing what you do best with the hatchback. But at the same time, there have been questions about the hatchback segment in India. Everybody's saying India is an SUV market. But what's your take on the hatchback segment? How's it been performing historically, and what do you see for the future?
Yeah, so coming to the first observation about the launch itself, the period last time we launched, big launch was the XL6 in November 2019. So it's about 2 years. In between, we had that BS4, BS6 conversion. We did focus on it big time because we have a huge portfolio of vehicles. We had 15 models to do this conversion. And you would have noticed that Maruti Suzuki was the only manufacturer which could successfully transit from BS4 to BS6 without a hitch. in terms of stocks, in terms of Supreme Court saying that what to do with vehicles after 31st March. We cleared everything well in time despite having the largest portfolio. So we did focus on there. We had some minor launches, like the S-Cross in September of 2020, and we had at the Auto Expo, if you recall, the minor change of Vitara Brezza in February 2020. So yes, here we are launching the Celerio, and you are right, Maruti Suzuki has a very aggressive stand as far as product launches are concerned. This is one of our forte, as you said, and that has also helped us bring products which are very close to consumers' requirement, and has helped us being the 50% market share which we are always targeting. Regarding the Celerio itself, on the hatch segment, so a lot of people asked us, see, SUVs are doing very well, there is growth in SUV, why are you looking at hatches? And you're right, there is a good growth in SUVs. SUVs, if you see the CAGR growth in the last 5 years, about 13.5%, which is pretty good, and that's the reason why much more than the market overall growth CAGR, and that is why the SUV segment has increased from roughly about 22-23% 5 years back to today of almost 39%. That's true. But I think one mistake which is being made commonly by analysts, by people in the industry, is that just because SUV is growing and is becoming 39%, that does not mean that the other segments have disappeared or they are reducing. For example, you mentioned hatches. Hatches are about 45% of the total market.
Okay.
So, and remarkably, they have remained the same last 5 years. So while the SUVs climbed up from about 22-23% to 39%, 45-46% has been the hatches.
Where the hatches sit.
So one clear observation from the actual data suggests that hatches is still the largest, number one. So it's 45-46%, 39%. Actually, last year data was about 32% for SUV. This year percentages are a little misleading, probably because of the semiconductor crisis. Different manufacturers have been affected differently. So maybe if you look at the whole year, which is a good period to take, 32% was SUV last year and 46% was hatches. That's one fact. So it is still the largest. And secondly, people say, oh, that must be because of the premium hatches, the Baleno, Swift, the i20s, and those models. But remarkably, there also the division between entry hatches and the premium hatches have been roughly 50-50. In other words, of the 45-46%, if you see 22-23% is entry hatch, and 22-23% or 23-24% is the premium hatch.
Okay.
So combined, so as individual segments, they have been relatively constant last 5 years, and therefore as a total also they have been remarkably constant, still much larger than the SUV. The SUV growth has actually come at the expense of sedans. 5 years back, sedan was about 23% of the market. Today they have reduced to around 9%. So there has been a steep fall, I would say about a 14% drop, which seems to have been picked up by SUV. So it does make sense to have a good portfolio of hatches for us. We have almost in that market about 66% of the hatch market share is with Maruti Suzuki, and we need to strengthen it. Remember, Celerio has about 20% of the market share in this segment of hatches where it operates. WagonR has almost 50%. So Celerio in that sense is quite important for giving that extra numbers for us, and that is why we had the launch. And Celerio being the most fuel efficient car with the absolutely new avatar, I think it should do well across the cities in the country.
And speaking about the demand, where we're seeing the demand for hatches coming from, do you feel that there's been a shift in the consumer? Like, is it more from a urban to a slightly more rural setting, or Cat B, Cat C towns, if you may?
Yeah, so if you see the demand pattern for the entry hatches, there seems to be some shift at the lower end, like Alto and Espresso. But if you see Swift, WagonR, if you see Baleno, there the major chunk is actually from the urban areas. So it's a mix. Okay. But you are right, for the Alto and Espresso, the shift seems to be towards the non-urban areas. Espresso sells a lot of vehicles in urban areas as well. So yes, there seems to be some shift at the lower end, but towards the end, even for hatches, towards the upper end. Celerio, for example, you will be surprised. Celerio's maximum sales are from Pune.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and there is no model no brand in the country in auto industry where Pune is the largest selling, where that model is the largest selling in Pune.
Okay.
So, but Celerio is Pune. So we actually went a little deeper. We researched who these consumers are, and we found that Celerio does very well in the cities. So it's like a city car. So the top selling are Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore. Hyderabad also is not traditionally the largest selling in this thing. Yeah, for a lot of brands, even for us, a lot of brands. You normally would see Mumbai or Delhi or Bangalore types.
Correct.
But here, so we found that this model has done very well for where there is the tech category population.
Okay.
So if you look at Pune, for example, or Bangalore, or Hyderabad for that matter,
A lot of IT parks.
lot of IT parks and all. So we saw there is a huge correlation there.
Okay.
And you would see we have positioned the Celerio as the city car. It's meant for the city. It's the urban car for the 24/7 consumer who is stylish, who is spirited, and that's what the positioning is.
Wonderful. So hatchbacks clearly have their own demand. I think that's a segment that's here to stay. So I think it's very apparent with the numbers that we're seeing as well. And Maruti, I hope in the future we're going to see a lot more exciting products coming out.
Yes, they would. I can assure you.
But for our viewers, sir, I do have one last question for you. It's not got anything to do with hatchbacks. I'm just going to say one word. I just want you to see what you have to say about it. Jimny.
It's a great car.
Well, no commitments over there, no comments. But thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you
and
very
thank
much.
you for your insight.
Thank you very much.